Then there should be procedures, instructions, and records. And when we talk of procedures, instructions, and records, we are actually talking about data management, then internal processes of operation, customer satisfaction from product quality, then improvement opportunities, and then quality analysis. These are common to all quality management systems, irrespective of the area in which they are being focused on. So each element of a quality management system overall goals of meeting the customers and the organization's requirements. Ensuring each of the elements of a QMS is present ensures proper execution and function of the system itself. So in establishing a quality management system helps organizations run effectively. Before establishing a quality management system, the organization must identify and manage various connected multifunctional processes to ensure customer satisfaction is always the target achieved. Of great importance is ensuring that it is a strategic choice influenced by the varying objectives, needs, and products and services provided. The basic steps to implementing a QMS are as follows. You need to design and build the system itself, that is, plan the organization. You also need to control and measure, as well as review, and then put in some improvement, because it's a continuous process. So in designing and building, we design and build portions to serve to develop the structure of a QMS, its process implementation. This is usually overseen by senior management to ensure that all the needs of the organization are taken into consideration and the needs of a driving force behind the development of the system. Deployment is best served in through breaking each process down into sub-processes and educating staff on documentation, education, training. Company intranets are increasingly being used to assist in the deployment of quality management systems. In most cases, you would have an internal server and you have the whole system uploaded on your internal server, so that every member of staff, whether they are working remotely or directly within the office, can have access to the system at any point in time. So control and measurement are two areas of establishing a QM that are largely accomplished through routine, systematic audits of the system and systematic audits of the system. The specifics may vary greatly from organization to organization, depending on size, potential risk, and environmental impact. Review and improve how the results of an audit are handled. The goals are to determine the effectiveness and efficiency of each process towards its objectives, to communicate these findings to the employees, and to develop new best practices and processes also provides a framework. That is, it states all the quality objectives which are established for each process. We also ensure that all employees are aware of and equally understand the policy. From time to time, we do have in-house training on all these processes. At times, we identify particular member of staff and assign such duties to them. Okay, next month we're having a training. You are going to make the presentation. Go and do your homework. That gets them to gradually begin to understand the process. So, finally, we review it for continuing suitability of what our business is all about and how we intend to achieve our customer satisfaction. The management of the firm. When we talk about management responsibilities, the management of the firm is clearly defined as who are part of management, and it's also the responsibility and the authority of each team member, how the business is to be run, and how we plan or propose to continually improve on our quality management system. It was mentioned here yesterday, for those of us who were present, the manner in which the process does work. And we've had to keep on. I think Mr. Noshle himself was actually the one who explained to us here. So I don't think I need to go into that detail again in order not to bore you. So the management are committed to develop, implement, and continually improve on our QMS effectiveness by communicating to all staff the importance of meeting and our clients' requirements, as well as ensuring that we do maintain the statutory and regulatory requirements that are needed. So in establishing the QMS quality policy and objectives, we also conduct management reviews and we also ensure that we have available resources for whatever process we are about to undertake at any point in time. Ensure that all customer requirements are determined, not only determined, they are met. At times we have to hold in-house meetings, project teams, because we have different project teams. The team leader will sit down and plan the process with the other independent, other members of the team, just to strategize and put the framework in place and agree that this is the method we want to adopt and proceed with the project on. So all this is done with the aim of enhancing customer satisfaction through improving our QMS processes. The scope of our business and services processes in allocating our resources to the project. Our business processes include the marketing and appointment of staff to the project, who is going to market what, who is going to do what. Then the services, the actual services that are being required of us, and the product that is to be produced. Because at times, if that is not clearly specified, there's a tendency to misinterpret the client's requirements, and that would deeply affect the quality of product that we are producing. Already we have a brand, we have a standard which we are not willing to compromise on. So we don't leave room, continuous process of improvement, so we don't leave room for such. Then also we make sure our processes include employment of staff. In fact, we have a welcome package package, orientation program for different staff, and whatever cadre or level of the, there's a clear-cut job description for you. Even if you're an IT student, there are specified training programs for each of them to undergo. All these are part of, came to into limelight or into existence through our quality management system. So we also have documentation, packaging, and presentation as part of our business process, and then how we maintain our plans for maintaining equipment, keeping our insurances in place, and all those. They're equally important. If you don't have a well-planned system, there's a tendency for you to forget that certain things need to be done at certain time, and that leads to the practice running down, or at a time, maybe a very critical time when you're under pressure to deliver, you just discover that you've run out of one thing, or there's no ink, or there's no water. Even it's as bad as that, even fuel. I know this was discussed yesterday, so I don't want to go into too much detail and discussion on that. Then in our service processes, we have about 8 of them: quality and product planning. Equally, again, we look at management responsibilities, the leadership, the organization, and so on and so forth, communication, customer satisfaction, and feedback, and then the review of QMS system itself. Then document control, records control, customer satisfaction, corrective action, preventive action, control of non-conformances. I've mentioned these, but they are part of what the resource management. Now, in realizing the product, we use internationally acceptable standard practices and procedures to plan and produce our products in accordance with our clients' requirement system control process. Our product planning includes setting the quality objectives and production process steps for each. Mentioned this a few moments ago. Then ensuring that requisite information is available, that we have every drawing and every other information we need from our co-consultants in order to get the job done, because we usually set a time frame for our deliverables. And in order to meet up, we need to have all necessary information available as early as possible. Then we also need to ensure that there's data backup. I'm very sure in this jet age that we're in, all of us are IT compliant. We all know the essence of having data backup, because anything can happen. And also, all relevant equipment that is needed is in good condition. Then templates and standard methods are very, very realizing our product. Then we need also to ensure that every process is verified at every step. In most of our documents, for any of you that maybe worked as maybe worked in any of our client organizations or has received events as a tender document, you will be quite familiar with our quality assurance page. We always have a quality control page that shows the levels each stage that the document has passed, and there's always a space where necessary step has been signed off on. It is a standard that we have, a standard template that we have, and which we use. Monitoring, inspection, and test activities. Our product acceptance criteria is also part of our product realization methods. Then we also have records to show evidence that transmitted document actually got to its destination or wherever it is at any point in time. The process also ensures that our product meets clients' requirements because there's equally a sign-off there. The output of this planning is documented documentation. We also have controls to plan and carry out our project engagement processes right from the very first indicative estimate through to final account, depending upon which stage of work we actually are engaged upon. And these are all done under controlled conditions that include providing employees with information that describes our product and delivery characteristics. We also use suitable production and review techniques. We have controls to monitor, measure, and test our products and ensure finished product quality prior to delivery. Requirements, whether they are stated or not. And we also take into account in identifying and documenting our customer requirements. We also ensure that we take into cognizance the statutory and regulatory requirements regarding that particular project. Now, in measuring, analyzing, and taking into cognizance improvement of the system, we obtain feedback from our customers as to whether we have met their requirements on each project, as well as conduct an annual survey of overall customer satisfaction. We conduct internal audits to determine whether our business activities have been effectively implemented and maintained in conformance with our QMS control system. From time to time, we join our regular weekly meetings. We just ask openly how we felt, especially from the specific, maybe the project team leader just rounded up this project. What do you think we could have done better? Or what feedback did you get from the client's team or the client's rep or our co-consultants? And we document all this feedback and we use it in control procedure. Defines the responsibilities, planning, performance, and reporting of results, as well as maintaining appropriate records. Most of the records that we obtain as feedback from our projects. For those of you who are very familiar, I believe there's hardly anyone in this room that doesn't know about our consul's building price book and our M&E. The information we have extensive cost library. It's from these records as do I call it fodder for our price book. But that a lot of input comes from the feedback we get from our projects. Experience, they say, is the best teacher, and that is the reason why and how we get our price book into. I hope Mr. Noshley will not be annoyed with me for revealing some of our secrets. All our QMS processes are audited once a year, and more frequently subsequent audits of some processes may take place based on the status and importance of the processes audited. The results of previous audits, or where we have some internal or external non-do these audits, when we carry out these audits, the management team ensures that timely corrective actions are taken to eliminate detected non-conformities and their causes. And then, of course, follow-up activities include the verification of the actions that were taken and then reporting of verification results. Monitor, so it is obvious from what I've said that we do monitor and measure our QMS processes to demonstrate our ability to achieve planned results when problems occur, preventive for reoccurrence. We do not realize finished product until all planned measuring and monitors have been satisfactorily completed, unless otherwise approved by a manager or a partner, or where by the customer, him or herself. So, and we do not, until we've gone through all stages of verification and sign off, we don't allow any project to go out. No product goes out. Even if everything is ready, verification is not there, nothing. We maintain records to show evidence of conformity to acceptance criteria and the persons authorizing such product release. So in the event that there's a non-conformity, it is always easy to determine who is responsible for that lapse, and then corrective actions are taken to ensure that a reoccurrence doesn't take place again. Review our product and process performance data, internal and external audit reports, customer satisfaction, feedback, etc., to identify controls that may eliminate the cause of potential problems in order to prevent their occurrence. Benchmarking your practice against a QMS. One of such benefits is that there's improved efficiency of services. Because we have a template that we have developed for each of our products, it makes work a lot in trying to develop a template for a job when you have an existing one. The time that it takes really is to ensure that the template you are using is the most appropriate one for that particular assignment. Increase productivity of the staff themselves within a shorter period of time because they have a template to work with. Uniqueness of product across the firm. Because we have taken time to develop our templates, specific templates for specific processes, you find that it is our head office or the island office or Kaduna office, and we have one or two, no matter the job or no matter the location, it is the same format, the same template you are going to meet. So it's a unique, whatever you see coming from console, you know that this is console standard, and it doesn't vary. Then reducing waste into a template. There's no need for you to start to do one thing, then you discover halfway through you are going about it the wrong way, or you've done the wrong thing. Throw it aside and pick up something and start again. So you discover that resources, resource is not just physical. You have time. Time is equally a resource. Everything we buy in producing our documents, even when we're still doing hard copy production, it all costs money. Everything boils down to the same thing on our resources, because we have a standardized process, we have the templates in place. Then another benefit from benchmarking your practice against the QMS, you discover that you spend a lot less in your operational costs. You discover that you are making your customers more satisfied. They tend to, within the shortest time, you are delivering your product with minimum or no error at all. You know that your customers are satisfied, and you find that because you're doing this all the time, there's hardly any complaints with your job. There's hardly any negative feedback from your clients. So we discovered that there's a higher customer satisfaction when you get the IT world now. Every new day, a new system comes out or a new version. Maybe you have a software you're using. The next week or month time, within a very short period, a newer version has come out. So you find that always you need to go for training on one thing or the other. We keep having to update ourselves in terms of technology, in terms of knowledge, even in trends. There's equally more time for us to look inward, go searching on the net for new building. And then, of course, because you're getting your job done well, you're deriving job satisfaction. The management you're working for, especially as a junior staff, they are satisfied with your services because your client has brought feedback that, oh, I'm pleased with the services of your staff, because for so and so reason, the person has been working. So you tend to discover that even the most junior person knows what to do at any point in time under instruction, because there has already been a briefing, so everyone knows what to do at each point in time, and the customer tends to be satisfied, a lot more satisfied with the services of even the younger ones. So, and you discover that a bonus, maybe at times additional fees come in, at times, there's that reward for doing well. There's always a reward even to the younger ones. There's some form of motivation. At times it's an end of project bonus, but for doing well, for excelling in your performance, there's some form of motivation. That one gets them to do more, and they derive satisfaction. The management up in coming with an additional commission from such clients. So, either way, whatever quality of service gets plowed back into the system again, and you find that the improvement is continuous. It keeps rolling over. Now, as chairperson of Waxing, I'm standing before you to mention the importance of benchmarking our QS practices against the quality management systems or quality management standards. I also need to let our women know. See, I'm standing before you. Women, by our nature. Now, I know all of you have been silent up till now. You've been trying to follow me. And I have known that when I get to this part, the Maxine are going to, or they're going to comment. I do not believe that it was a mistake that the quality control functions of our firm were placed under my purview. This includes production of project deliverables expected of the firm from clients and co-consultants. It also includes establishing documents and templates for use in consultation with other partners and the managing partner. It also includes monitoring all outgoing correspondence from the firm, amongst many other professional duties. I will confess it has been a bit challenging on a few rare occasions. But then, as an individual, I tend to love challenges. I want to charge my fellow women quantity surveyors to wholly embrace the quality management system in their day-to-day activities and business operations, because quality and management come naturally to most of us. Our practice firms must, as a matter of necessity, now this is my own view, develop standard and consistent study or report, whether it is budget or preliminary estimate or bills of quantities or valuation or financial statement, final account, even a project monitor's report or whatever you have. We should also develop a standard template for building up rates of work items from first principles. It is something I'm used to doing. If I have a rate sheet hidden somewhere within that document, and I like to build up my rates from first principle. It's not about calling up a colleague. What's the rate you use? What's the rate you use? Because what applies to that project might not apply to yours. And in particular, I work on M&E. You can have the same number of toilets and bathrooms. You can have similar type of product, but you might not necessarily get the same rate because the arrangements might be different. The type of development might be different, and all these affect rate. So it's always good to work from first principles when you are. Now, these templates that we build up must be based on current standard documents in use globally. This becomes the brand by which the firm is known in its operations. The QM standards are reviewed and updated regularly, and so it is not amiss for our own documents as professionals to reflect the current or most recent industry standards. Now, talking from experience, in adopting QMS as a benchmark for your practice, you will discover that there is a substantial reduction in waste and higher productivity. I've said that a few moments ago. Less time is spent in performing some repetitive operations. Women, we are known to be more frugal in nature and would feel at home and entrenched in the quality management systems. It is very, very essential that the management of firms go the extra mile to ensure that the preset standards of our industry and profession are internalized and put to use, especially as it pertains to the quality of products. And when I say products, I mean our documents that are being produced for our various clients. It is very important for us as professionals, not just women now, but that we take pride in our product. By adopting the most current internationally accepted standard templates in existence globally for our products. Some of the very current internationally accepted templates include, even if I'm not going to say anything, at least SMM7, although some people would argue with me on the currency of SMM7, but SMM7 is the equivalent, our BE SMM3 that we are only just updating to BE SMM4 now, is would I say a cousin of SMM7. The same thing with our CE SMM3 and 4. Now, we also have NRM, that is the new rules for measurement. We have NRM 1, 2, and I think we have 3 too. And when you see the NRM and you compare it with our BSMM 4, you know that they are cousins, they are children from the same grandparents. Our JCT Tribunal 2016 contract suits are also current internationally accepted templates. The same thing with it makes me wonder why I see some contract documents with JCT 1963. 1963 is 55 years ago. Why we should still be using a 55-year-old document in our contract? I believe anything, apart from a human being, anything that is 55 years old by now would be obsolete. So why do we have to still keep using the JCT of 1963? Even that of 1980. And with due respect, 1998. We're in the new millennium. This is 2018. So even 1998 is 20 years old now. So I don't see why we should still be using such JCTs on new job commissions that we are getting in 2018, 2019, even last year. It doesn't stand to reason. So I think if we are going to be taken seriously internationally, all of us World Bank projects and other international jobs, I don't think any other place in the world, they will take us seriously if they see contract documents that are carrying such documents. I've also noticed a very disturbing trend in bills of quantities documentation, which bear little or no correlation to the peculiar project for which the documentation was intended at the onset. And this is not because that is the very little or no correlation. It's not because there were discrepancies between drawings and documentation, but rather it's that we are not basing our documentation on any recognizable standard method of measurement. It is common with our young ones, very common with our young ones. They tend to mix up what I call a hybrid bill of quantities. You find them mixing SMM6, some SMM6 phrases with BESMM3. And to me, it doesn't stand to reason. I think if we are doing SMM7 or BESMM3, we are required to state this is the BSM we're using, or the SMM method of measurement we're using, and where we're deviating from it, we need to state it clearly. I know that is a standard provision, and I think we should do more, especially you young ones, in opening our BESMM, not just picking an old bill off the shelf and using it as a basis to prepare documents. It doesn't stand to reason. So I think it is that we need to stop right now. If we are going to say we are imbibing the culture of quality management, we should make sure that our document is interpretable anywhere in the world. At times, we submit our documents, our bills of quantities. We don't know where they end up, our documents to our clients, only for us to hear from the grapevine or from a colleague that, your document, your client brought your job to our office. You understand? So once you've submitted, your job can get anywhere. So you need to take this into consideration and always give of your best whenever you're preparing your documents for your clients. So this habit I was talking about does not reflect any iota of quality management or control and must stop now. It is very important that we open our SMM as a guide when preparing our document templates to have a uniform and consistent product brand or identity that can withstand the test of time anywhere in the world. Yes, again, women are known to be more meticulous and painstaking than men. Hence, I'm waxing, please. Hence, I implore all of us women to be the agents of change in this regard and ensure proper and thorough documentation always. A major concern to us women is if we are denied job opportunities by our male counterparts. And it is not because we are not competent. Yes, I will campaign. Many of us women in the quantity surveying profession have had to face untoward difficulties and challenges in our careers because they are either denied employment or forced to quit when being compelled by employers to choose between home and job. Some of us give birth, although not me, I have long time ago, but it's something I've encountered in the past, and I've had a lot of complaints from our members too. If we are good at our jobs, majority are good at our jobs, because I have always said it whenever I have the opportunity. Any female that can practice quantity surveying successfully in country is not a pushover. We have our past president, immediate past president. I mean, if she were here, I wouldn't have asked her to stand up. We all know her. Is she a pushover? When we talk of Professor Babalola, is she a pushover? And I think even I, standing before you, some of my classmates are here. And they know right from school I was never a pushover. And I know from my members, I have spoken with them, I interact with them. They are not pushovers. So, all we are saying is that we are good at what we do. Last year, I know a senior colleague of mine asked me to place an advert on the platform that this particular developer actually asked for a female, specifically. And he said he expects are dishonest. They slide his jobs. Yes, I am quoting. I'm quoting that they slide his jobs. Women don't have the time to do that. When we get to the office, we want to do our work. Because already we know we have a husband at home, we have children at home. And that's the truth. Yes, occasionally, I'm very serious. Occasionally, we have an emergency at home, and we need to take the children, one of the children, to the hospital or something. Some of us, after having our children, the next 3 months after our maternity leave, we need to close early. But a number of our male parts do not oblige us. Please, if you want the best out of us, no, please. I know what I'm saying might be offensive, but please bear with me. I'm about rounding up. But this is the truth, and I think since I have the power of the mic, I can express the females. They've complained to me bitterly on our platform that men do not, their male employers do not want to understand this problem that we have. So please oblige us. We love our jobs. We want to give of our best. It's the only way we can get experience. It's the only way we can rise. We could have opted to be housewives, but because we need to assist our husbands, we come to work every day. We've taken up the profession. Do not, because we want to work, doesn't mean we should lose our homes. So making us choose between our home and our job is not in anyone's interest. If you want us to give of our best, and we are the best people to imbibe and put in place this QMS we're talking about. So please encourage us to give of our best and accommodate us, please. So, on many occasions, women are the ones detailed to handle a dissatisfied client because of the natural talents we have. So why turn us away from the office? Counterparts. Despite the natural constraints that we have bestowed upon us by Mother Nature, we also have our loyalty, our integrity, and our forthrightness working in our favor. And I say that the time is becoming ripe for the women to begin to form more practicing firms, mergers, JPVs, and begin to employ our male counterparts. If we continue to encounter discrimination at the slightest opportunity, women are assets, and quality management comes now to us. In concluding, I would like to emphasize the need for our traditional QS firms to aim towards increasing the capacity of their various practices by restructuring their setup to form mergers of the smaller sole proprietorships and partnerships into larger mega practices. They would have more resources, more versatility, and more innovative products, such as specialization, to offer their clientele. For the past 10 years or so, I don't think I have touched building works measurement for any reason. I think that I have examples of Mace, like companies like Mace, as at 2020 had a staff strength of 4,494 persons. Turner and Townsend had a staff strength of 4,674 persons. Mott MacDonald, 16,000 persons. E.C. Harris International, Indies. They all started out as traditional QS practice firms, some as far back as 1946. So in so doing, they had a much better chance of securing much larger job commissions. What I'm referring to now are the larger practices over the proprietorship and the smaller partnerships. The larger practices stand a much better chance of securing much larger job commissions as well as international. This would also diminish the influx of foreign firms hijacking the few available jobs here in Nigeria. So in closing, I wish to reiterate that the adoption of the globally recognized and accepted International Organization for Standards, that is the ISO, Quality Management Standard System approach as a benchmark for quantity surveying practices is a good turn for our profession if firms can also go the extra mile to get certification as well. Mr. Noshile mentioned it yesterday that we're in the process of taking that up. It entails a continuous audit of existing management systems against any current revisions. By so doing, firms will find it easier to gain greater business benefits, both locally and internationally. The result would be client requirements met, a satisfied client, and an improved product. Quantity surveying services at their best. Thank you for listening to me.
A round of applause once again. Waxing in Mr. President and IQS. I'm trying. Some maxing are trying to defect. Wow. Madam Due Process. I started counting really. Questions and answers first before I just try to do so. I wouldn't do it. Because we need to try and nip things quickly. I would like to say everybody at once. Once I count you, then we'll cap it that way because we need to move into the next one quickly. So 1, 2. I can't see beyond. I can't see beyond the one. Still the light? 5. Okay, so sorry. Again. 1, 2, 3. That's 4. Right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, he's a court person. Okay, so let's start from here quickly. Sorry, Expedient.
All protocol duly observed. My name is QS Mola Mike. Whether we like it or not, as a resource person in tutorial class, and whenever I went out to go and present a paper, but there was a time I was presenting a paper in the NLB, trying to lecture them how to write a technical report writing. While I was leaving, they said, you have assisted us how to write, but please, can you get? Whether we like it or not, change is constant. And I was in a program in Barcelona, where the use of BSM3, use of BSM3, and our guard and QS, before I said that we cannot avoid with FCT. Let me tell you, I'm sorry to say this. It is difficult for a ministry worker to change quickly, like a firm. I'm very, very sorry, sir. My senior colleague, it is very difficult. You know, in civil service, whether we like it or not, at the end of 30 days, our salary will come. And those people that are working for in the firm, they have to justify their pay. I work with FCT. I discover those bill of quantity are still prepared with SMM6 and 7. I am ready to change. The Oga that taught me in person of QS Adiremi right now, principal partner, I'm a acquaintance and associate, what he has prepared so that I can also change my orientation. I believe the institute should try to prepare a bill of quantity with the use of new BSMN. Building, electrical, M&E, civil, and send it to every member's mail, even if one needs to pay. This is my advice. God bless you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, okay. Good morning.
females, they have peculiar challenges we must understand. We must help out. We are part of a family. Women brought us up, we guys. We had mothers, or we still have mothers, who brought us up. So we must reach out to help. Be patient with our staff, with our female staff. They may not even turn up. They may forget to even call you to ask for permission. We don't have to take it hard on them straight away. And I can assure you, any female QS who is serious, I personally will go out to help, maybe not in my practice, but ensure that person gets a job. I remember there's a lady, I can't tell, ETCO. That was about 12 years ago. Till today, she's in ETCO. She's one of the best hands. A female. Kappa Batu, one of our sponsors, at least 70% of QSs in Kappa Batu are females. So please, females, don't feel bad. Please allow us, there's room for improvement. And guys, let's improve. No. Their room is not the other room. No. Mainstream. Poor materials importation. That has always been a major concern of surveyors. And I remember as far back as 2004, in fact, before then, NIQS was seriously engaging SON. SON. Now look, the materials, who is in charge? Buildings are collapsing because innocent developers go to the market and buy poor iron rods. They don't know which one. But they just, oh, this is the cheapest. Give me. Why would you allow that kind of product to be in the market in the first instance? So we engage to control. But later on, within a year or two, I think they understood and they've started, and that's what you now call SONCAP, a certificate. You want to build, you want to bring in any building material to this country? If you don't have that SONCAP certificate from SON, you can't clear it. I was in one situation where we had to go and inspect iron rods at the wharf. About 12,000 tons will build you about a 20-story building. It was impounded by SON, that poor quality from China. So SON is doing something now. Somebody is looking after the quality of materials. Lastly, yes, about employment, we have, that's part of what the product of our ISO or our quality management systems. We have a rigorous recruitment process. To enter a practice, you must know that you are worth your salt. And we are proud to say so. Many would tell us, oh, Consult doesn't employ HND holders. We do employ HND holders. Good at your work. We employ BSc. You may have pass, not even third class. But if you are good at it, we will employ you. So the attitude is for quality. You must prove that you have something to offer. Another bad aspect of ISO or this quality issue is that then you may condemn so many people that they are not good enough. And that aspect of humanity, you can't divorce it. I think that was what Mr. Balogun was trying to bring in. That aspect of humanity, if you are rigid about quality, what of us that they say all fingers cannot be equal. We agree. So on that basis, we allow some entry into the firm on humanitarian base for IT. But during the IT, you must prove yourself. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We're going to go directly to the next paper. Hello.
I wanted to speak about this. The BESMM 4, about the need for standards. It's not just any standard. Ideally, the latest standard. In Nigeria now, in quant surveying, this is the latest standard. It's just been printed, so we're going to start selling. Tomorrow we will launch it. So this supersedes BSMM 3. In fact, it supersedes the BSMM 4 you might have had before, because this is revised version. So update. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Part of quality. Hello. If I may have your attention, please. We need to proceed further. At this point, I'll please like to call on the next resource person. A young professional, as it were, who is also fast becoming an inspiration to our own generation of quantity surveyors coming up. It gives me more joy to see somebody that we can, at our level, relate to, also being here to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Aguguesi Ifeanyi as a leader through professionalism and career progression for quantity surveyors. Thank you. Round of applause, please.
Mr. President, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. My name is Ifeanyi Aguguesi. It's actually the short part of my name. The full name is Ifeanyi Aguguesi Hebebu. It's a surname with 21 alphabets. But just to make things work, we limit it to Aguguesi. I work with Ifeanyi and Ago and partners. Today, I am talking on this theme, professionalism and career progression for quantity surveyors. While preparing this speech, this lecture, a joke came to my mind. A comedian said he was trying to talk about professionals. He said, I'm a Yahoo boy and professionally do your work. He equally said, if a person is a criminal, the person should be well enough to say I'm a criminal. And he advised, when a criminal comes to your house and is knocking on the door, don't bother opening the door, leave him. It is part of his professional duty to break your door and come in. So if you open the door for him, you are helping him in his job. Let him be professional enough to break the door and come in. You know, that it's comic. Is a statement, that statement is comic, but it brings to mind the word professionalism. I would want to talk about that word, professionalism. When we talk about professionalism, we are looking at certain qualities, behaviors, actions that are expected of a person who belongs to a professional body or a professional body who or as expected of a professional who have a specific kind of training. Judgment, you're able to take some decisions, you're able to make statements that people can hold to just because you have a specific training in that field that others do not have. Today, we are looking at how professionalism can help us in growing our career progression as quantity surveyors. But before I go ahead, let me also look at that word, career progression. The word career progression refers to such phrases as climbing up the corporate ladder, growing in ranks, or being able to make improvements in what we do. And so what it means is that before we can say that our career is growing, we are saying that we would have gathered as much knowledge that people are able to trust us, repose some level of confidence on us as to what we do. And such confidence will mean that they will give us more work to do, more things to do. And it also means that we will grow in ranks. We will also grow financially because such will bring in financial benefit, as it were. That's career progression. While looking at this, I really realized that within these 2 days, a lot of senior colleagues that have spoken and yet will speak will talk more on some core technical matters. So I decided not to talk on core technical issues of professionalism. I have decided to talk on social skills that make us professionals. I would want to begin with communication skills. Communication skills, you know, communication is very key to whatever it is we do. If we cannot effectively communicate, if we cannot pass the information we have, then there is nothing we have internally that makes any sense, because it will end up being what we have retained inside. Nobody knows about it. And that's why we will look at certain communication skills, writing skills, verbal skills, non-verbal skills, and some other skills that relate to communication that can help us in our work. That when we display such attitude, we will be seen as core professionals. Let me begin with writing skills. As quantities of, we also write descriptions and bills of quantities, evaluations, and all that. We also write letters. We write to our teammates, we write to clients, we write to different kind of people, we write them letters. We also write technical and financial reports. All these things are areas of our work that requires writing. If we are not able to construct good grammar, if we don't have good spellings, if we're not able to articulate thoughts in writing, there is no way we can execute this part of our profession. Because the documents we make, people read them. And it's able to read out. You know, service delivery is about satisfaction. And so when a client is not satisfied because he or she does not understand what we've written, not done anything, we aren't being professionals at all. So we want to pay attention to the things we write, to be sure that the information we give out, we write out. The thoughts, when people are reading what we've written, they're able to see, yes. You know, when people read your document and they don't make any meaning out of it, you've lost respect. They don't look at you as that person who is a professional, irrespective of the technical skills you have. So we want to pay attention to this part sometimes. I also feel that there is another thing we need to look at while writing, and it is the use of technical language. Not all persons are quantity surveying literate. And so there are terms, terminologies, jargons that we use as professional quantity surveyors that others don't understand. I have had situations where some architects do not understand simple descriptions you find in bills of quantities. When we find ourselves in such a situation, what do we do? Professionalism does not write any language. Professionalism writes the language that the person who is reading will understand. So it is professional on our part to sometimes, when the need calls for it, to break down the language we use for some things we write, to make sure that the other person who is reading understands. We had a situation in my firm recently where we did a report, financial report. The architect brought it back and said he doesn't understand what we've written. And that's exactly with the template the NIQS has provided for writing. He said he didn't understand. We had to go back to disintegrate the things we've written, the professional, put it in general writing language for them to understand. And he was happy he understood it. The client representative, who is also an architect, understood, and it sailed. Even though that landed me in some kind of trouble, because when a senior quantity called me and said, "You have not written professionally. though I tried to explain that it was in a bid to explain. So sometimes, because we know we have a time when the boundaries between the professional bodies have collapsed. So sometimes the document you have written, another professional will use it to work. So it will be good for us sometimes to break the language you have in a way that those who are not quantity surveyors will be able to understand. You know, when they understand us, they look at us as real professionals. When we write letters too, we also want to be brief and straight to the point. You know, letters, official letters have different ways these are written. And some of us do not or haven't mastered how these things are written. It is good that we master how these things are written, and so that when we write correspondences to people, clients, teammates, other professionals, they're able to see us as those who are professionals in the real sense of professionalism. It doesn't matter only if we have learned the QS technical things, if we must communicate to them. The next is the verbal skill. That's about how we say things. You are a client, and the person standing before you to make a presentation to you on the project is the man, Honorable Patrick Obayabo. We know him. The man that speaks very big grammar. And you are looking at him, he's speaking. All you are waiting for him is that one single thing that he's saying. You're waiting for him to finish. Or just change the imagination. The next person who is talking to you is the man who speaks Maji's past tense with present tense and future tense with past tense as he speaks. And you're looking at the man, you are laughing because you're not making any sense out of what he's saying. You're waiting for him to finish. You know, somebody could say that they are not very extreme. I can say why. You know, somebody could argue that we don't need to be grammarians to be quantity surveyors. I agree. But I also agree that we cannot be true professionals when we cannot verbally the things we know. And so we begin to look at our use of language. If it is English we use in our day-to-day work, what is our mastery of the language? Do we understand English? Are we able to construct good English and let people understand what we're saying? I have got to see a lot of quantity surveyors who speak things that are not to be identified with. We want to change that. Because when you stand before a client, especially a learned person, and you're speaking, he doesn't make any sense out of what you're saying. He doesn't see you as any true professional. We want to be true professionals by being able to handle our verbal skills. Let us speak. Let us use the language that we understand. And let us communicate to the people in a way, in language, well-constructed language that they will understand. There's another twist to this. Imagine that your client is one trader in Ariaria market in Aba, or a trader in Alaba market in Lagos. And standing before him, you are blowing very big grammar to him just to let him understand that you're a professional. You will at the end of the day have failed because he did not understand the grammar professionals mean to us. You know, professionalism doesn't speak any particular language. And so we want to know the client we are dealing with, the teammate we are dealing with. What is the language? Take if it's an old man in the village who understands Igbo, Yoruba, Pidgin English, whatever the person understands, let us explain to him that which we are trying. Skill we want to look at is the non-verbal skill. Sometimes the way we carry our people, even without saying anything, they can read a meaning to you or to what you're trying to say or do. Sometimes you can tell if somebody is telling a lie by barely looking at how the person is looking at you. non-verbal positions can sell us off. It can either tell people that we know what we're doing or tell them that we don't know exactly what we're doing. The next point I have put down is listening is professional. Why do I say so? If somebody is telling me now what he wants me to do, and I am not taking time to listen to him, I will not end up doing what he wants me to do because I don't get what he said. So when we listen to people patiently, listening requires patience, a lot of patience. When we take the patience to listen to people, and it can help us give them the service that they require of us. We also don't want to forget clarity and concision when talking. We want to be clear with what we're saying. We want to be concise. We don't want to put many information together at a time to pass. We will end up not letting the client or the teammate or even the contractor to know exactly the information we're trying to pass on to them. Skills that as professionals we need to have. You know, if somebody's standing before you and is speaking and is shivering and is maybe doing a lot of time shaking, you will just conclude that that person doesn't know what he's saying. And so we want to develop confidence. And you know, confidence comes with your knowing what you are doing. So when we know what we're doing, we speak. Let them know that we know what we're doing. I had a situation sometime where my boss had just taught me how to prepare a financial technical proposal, a World Bank. So I got a personal job where somebody called me and said, come, I need you to help us. We have a technical proposal to write, and somebody said you are the person to do it. So they took me for a meeting. Now in that meeting was the chief operating officer and the CEO of the firm, and I was alone. Now they told me that they showed me the TOR, and I looked at it and I told them, this is exactly how this proposal will be prepared. The principal said he does not agree. That in his past 23 years, that proposals are not, technical proposals do not go that lane. That he has a way he prepares it. I said to him, sir, if it is this one that I'm looking at here, what I'm telling you is the way it is done. He sit and said, fine. You cannot tell me that what I have done for the past 23 years that I don't know what I'm doing. I say, sir, sorry. I am not saying you don't know what you've been doing in the past 23 years. I'm only saying that this one that we're talking about now is not that way, it is this one. The COO now intervened and said, sir, it seems he knows what he's saying. Let us allow him. And at the end of the day, that document, the way I did it, was what was required of them. And they won that M&E for the National Fire Service that's on the way if you're going out of Abuja. So, if you know what you're doing, you exude confidence before your clients. That is what will let people know that you are a professional. And next to that, I have put respect. You know, sometimes we can misconstrue respect for rudeness. Sometimes in a bid to be confidential, come to the person we're relating with, while being confident in what we're saying. Respectfully pass that professional idea we have to them to buy it. And that is exactly how it is. And the last part of this discussion on communication is feedback. Feedback is important. When we work for our client, when we relate to people, it is good to get a feedback from them. Maybe you wait in the next 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. We want to reach out to these clients to find out exactly if indeed they were satisfied with what we did. If you don't get a feedback, communication is useless. It didn't communicate. Communication ends with a feedback. So when we get a feedback from the people who have worked for, feedbacks can be via writing, it can be orally, it can even be via acting out the instruction we've given. When people react positively, do exactly what we have told them, that means that we have successfully communicated. The next skill that as professionals we need to look at is our ability to dress well and carry on with our hygiene. You know, they say the way you dress is the way you are dressed. They say first impression matters. This is true. When we don't appear well before people, we might not have the privilege of appearing before those people again. And so that first time that we have the opportunity to appear before them, we want to take that time to let them see how professional we are, even in our appearance. I have divided this theme into two. One, I want to talk about how we dress, and the other about our hygiene. You see, the things in the business world, it is usual to wear a suit. When you don't wear a suit, you could wear a tie. If you want to dress casually, wear some dignified casual to work. Quantity surveyors are not excluded from this. We need to dress well. When we dress well, respect we need as professionals. And remember, career progression is all about the respect we get from people, and it takes us up. So when we dress well, appear before people, we could be going for a meeting, it could be a site meeting, it could be an office meeting, whatever meeting it is. We want to take time to dress appropriately. Somebody asked me, quantity surveying hasn't been paying my bills, so why will I waste my time looking for how to dress well? Let me say this. The person that saw you why you didn't dress well might be the person who will give you that job you need to blow to dress well. So we want to impress from the first time we have met the person. Let us take it as part of our professional responsibilities to dress well at all times. It is important. People look down on us. Some people say our work is a site work. It's not true. It's not correct. Sometimes we go to site, in the office. When we're on site, we know we're on site. We dress as site people. But when we're in the office, we want to dress appropriately. So that anybody who walks into their office, we might not be wearing tie, but we'll be dressed in a clean clothing. It mustn't be expensive. But we need to be clean and organized so that when the person sees us, they accord us that respect that is due us as professionals. That is being professional. That is professionalism. The other part has to do with hygiene. You know, sometimes you're talking to some people and you're busy doing your face like this. The reason, mouth odor. The odor coming from the mouth of such persons is not encouraging at all. Or you're standing before a person and the person has a body odor, smell. You cannot stand. You have a client, an international client, and you are speaking with him and he's perceiving that you have mouth odor or that you have body odor, probably because you're wearing things that are smelling, you aren't clean. It detracts from professionalism. It doesn't make us true professionals at all. So fellow colleagues, it is important that we give attention to our personal hygiene. It is important. You cannot want to sit 10 minutes discussing with somebody whose mouth is smelling or whose body is smelling. Let us check. Sometimes if a person have told me that, see, your mouth is smelling, it's a good thing he has done for me, because I'm going to go back to make sure that my mouth stops smelling. Because if he allows me, I will keep talking to people and they keep running away from me. You discuss with a client today and he sees what the problem you have, and tomorrow he does not want to discuss with you because you are not being professional, even the way you appear. Let us try to work on this aspect. The next is competence. You know, as quantity surveyors, the first part of our competence check is the way our school, our education. We went to school, we studied quantity surveying, whether BSc or HND, we came out. Now, to improve on this, we'll be looking at workshops like this, seminars that are meant to help us. Now, let me say this. Some of us who just got inducted, or some of us who are going to be taking a lot of time and energy to prepare, both NIQS and QRSRBN, taking time to prepare seminars and conferences for us to attend. The reason why these things are meant is not for the spirits to attend. It's for us. So as soon as you become part of this unique profession, we want to take part in these seminars and these workshops. They are for our own good. Imagine the wealth of information that has been given out in the past, yesterday and today. If you are not here, how will you get this information? Some of those people who are giving this information are people who have a lot of partners in firms, fellows who have practiced a long time. If we are not here to take part in this, how are we going to benefit? It is a call on all of us, especially those of us who are young. If we must progress in this profession to become true professionals, we need to attend these events. They are for our own good. We need them. The Institute is making a lot of time to provide these things, and we need to take full advantage of them. Another part of our competence check is being able to give out information that is correct. The delivery, the output, that we give out needs to be correct. I identified there are two things that affect the output we give, the information we give out. Sometimes it might be because we have not consulted in full, or, when we have information, when we're working on a document, it is good we consult wide. The things you're not very familiar with, there's nothing bad. Professionalism calls who knows it better, and let the person help you to understand it. By the time the person teaches you that, the person wouldn't teach you again, you already know it. You can continue with your work, but let it be that you have consulted wide to get appropriate information. As cost managers, when we give wrong information on a project, especially when it has to do with finance, all stakeholders in the project who will depend on our report to make their own decisions will be misled. Because the information we have given to them is wrong, is faulty. Again, I said computational error could be another reason why we give out an information that is incorrect. Sometimes you can be competing things. Maybe that's why sometimes when you are doing tender analysis, you find out that some contractors are giving out. They might have submitted a figure, but by the time you are done with your analysis, you discover that their figure is higher than they have submitted. Reason being that they may have omitted a figure as they are competing down. And that knocks them off. So we want to be very, very particular about this and check. Sometimes it will be good quality control calls that we give to somebody else to check on our behalf, so that we are sure that the computation of figures we are doing is correct, so that we don't get into any problem later on. If you make a mistake of making any error and it goes out, what happened to me sometime will happen to you. And that is the fact that they will not want to understand that you are under pressure when they ask you to do it. They will just hold down that you have made a mistake. So we don't want that to happen. And when we are known for mistakes, people will look down on us and they wouldn't take us seriously as professionals. We want to put this into check and make sure that the figures, the information we give out to people as professionals are well researched and correct, as it were. The next part of what we need to do as professionals is accountability. Accountability, it could be that people are praising us and saying we have done a lot of job. We accept that. But the other part of it, that is when we make a mistake, we always want to look for who to blame. Professionalism calls for acceptance of mistake. It is not unprofessional for us to admit that we made a mistake and we correct it. It is important that we know this too. Sometimes in a bid to dodge responsibility, in a bid to dodge being accountable, we mess up ourselves while trying to defend what we cannot defend. So let us admit that we've made a mistake and let us make efforts to correct it, because that is what people will look at, and they will look at us as those who know what they are doing. The other part of what we need to do to be professionals is ethical behavior. I'm aware that the Institute has code of conduct. Have we read this code of conduct? Ethical behavior looks at being able to set standards with which or under which or upon which those who practice a particular profession do their work. The reason is because, the training we have benefit the institute, benefit the country. The same training could turn to harm this country, to harm every other person with information we have as quantity surveyors. When we work under these ethical codes that have been laid down, they will help us walk in line and help people see us in the right light. Ethical behavior is important, especially when we isolate integrity in ethical issue. That's also a moral issue. Imagine this, that you're a contractor. You call a quantity surveyor to help you prepare a bid. The quantity surveyor tells you that he will charge you 100,000. You say, no, I have 20. The quantity surveyor looks at it, he's looking for money, so he takes the job. Now he goes back to his table and he says to himself, he cannot pay for me to do real job. So let me look for rates that I've used for works I did before. Or call somebody and ask them the rates they use for their work, and you use it to price the job. At the end of the day, It's either that the man's bid is too high or that his bid is very unrealistic and he loses out of the job. The other part of it is that he might end up getting this job, but by the time execution comes, he will discover that the rate with which you price that bill is not functional at all. It doesn't translate to what the market is saying at the time. What have we done? We have ended up not showing integrity while carrying out that job. So, if a person says, do a job for me, and the price he's asking us to collect is what we can take for the job, it is better for us to lose the job and keep our respect than that we do that job and lose our professional respect. You know why? Because the man will never call you again for any job. We are finished. The respect we seek to get from doing that job will be lost. We can't get it. So let us take ethics as a very important issue. The Institute has done well to provide us code of practice. Let us go through it. Let us try as much as possible to get ourselves embedded in this and live in line with these codes of practice, conduct that the Institute has put down. This will help us become professionals who will respect. People will look at us and say, yes, these men displays professionalism. They have respect for us as individual professionals. They also have respect for the Institute that has produced us. The last part of what I'm discussing about professionalism is problem-solving skills. Every professional is expected to be a problem solver. You know, there is no line of work that is devoid of problems. You work and we have issues in projects. It could just happen anywhere. What do? We need to become problem solvers for people to see us as core professionals. So when a project has run into a problem, I'm not expecting my client, who is not a QS, to be able to sort out the financial issues. I should find a way around it. Finding a way around it means that we need to grow some behavior. We need to begin to develop some qualities in us that can help us become problem solvers. One of it is that we need to be practical and creative. When we have issues, let's try to be practical and creative. One of the ways to be practical is by seeking for the advice and suggestions or help of those who know more than we know. That can help us at such times. Client is coming on the same issue, but you're giving the client a face that all things is well, everything is fine, I'm going to sort it out. When we handle issues like that, when the storm is over, we will find out that that client will look at us as professionals to be trusted and relied upon. Let us put on a positive attitude irrespective of what problems we have. Compromise is another thing. We want to compromise. We are not harbingers of knowledge. We don't know everything. And sometimes, even if you're firm, that will give you the idea you need to solve a problem. So it is not unprofessional for us to change our path of thought when we have issues. We could move into the path for us. That will help us solve the problem that we have. And people will look at us as true professionals. We also want to be clear and articulated when we speak to people. Part of this is being able to speak and listen. I had spoken about listening before. It is important for us to listen at all times. When people you are or relating what is the problem somewhere, and we are not listening, we wouldn't know what the issue is, and we cannot reach to the solution of that problem when we don't have when we haven't understood what the person is saying. And the other part is being able to speak up. Some professionals, this part I had included it for those of us who are young. You see, sometimes there is a problem object, and I don't person on you idea, looking at the person
I know they are financial people. Then I discuss with them in terms of financial aspects. Talk about cost limit, cost ceiling, everything that has to do about cost. When I finished, I got the job. I've been chasing them for 3 years. So, to a banker, you are a different quantity surveyor because you understand a different language. 2, talked about dressing. You see, you have to spend money to make money. I don't mind spending 100,000 to look good because I'm after something, and I will chase it until I get it. As a quantity surveyor, your confidence determines where you get to. So, you are a professional. You may be very versatile in terms of intellectuality, but you see, that doesn't get you the job. First of all, assessing. Know who he is, know his weakness and his strength, and work on it. When you do that, you can't leave but getting that job. Thirdly, you see, as a quantity surveyor, you must understand your society. You must know your environment. In talking about that, to close, there was a time a barrister, there was an oil spillage in the Niger Delta region, specifically in River State. And they were looking for somebody to prepare the bill of quantities. And they looked around, they couldn't get, so somebody told them about me. And it has to do with economic trees damage, oil spillage, and so on and so forth. And their own curator was a white man, a Briton. But of course, it hasn't been prepared anywhere before. A bill of 150 million. Can you do it? I said, well, you can stretch me to 120 million. I'll do that. And it was done. We went on before the judge and defended it. Now, you see, the way I put up myself, the way I spoke to them, told them this man has something to say. Even the white man said, I've never seen a bill like that before. That whatever he said, and the money was paid. And I was given about 25 million. That's a good one. But you see, I'm just about confidence. Don't shy away from problem. Be a problem solver, and that is it. Thank you. Thank you.
All protocol duly observed. Ojo Ademola is my name. What I want to say is just to appreciate and keep in. When I saw the presenter, I think I was like him some years ago, being brought up by the caliber of people. And I remember when this was made that young people should be brought up. And I'm so much encouraged. So, to the neck, over the years, I want to appreciate you that the culture of bringing up young people is still there. Thank you very much for that. The second one, your client. That is very, very, very important. The last one is your competence. And that's where I really want to dwell on. I've read much about Dada and Jagboro, 2000 on this, on on competence. I want to say that it's beyond the rhetoric or writing in the papers. What we have learned today, or what NIQS is doing over the years, is the real competence. Many things we teach us in school, or were taught in school, is all the same syllabus that is old. Syllabus of 1980. JCT of 1980. Can't do that again. Please, we speak about revising syllabus. Let an action, practical action be made. Otherwise, NIQS will be teaching us and we'll never about the school. This is the real competence. Quantities of yours, I was discussing with my brother Femi Balogun FNIQS. discussing about infrastructure economics and project control. We want to see more of that, because that's what the client wants. We as construction people, we should be able to talk about it like taking in abstract. Let's work around that so that we can talk better, talk like people in different industries, and become and get something. Otherwise, if it's 2x2 building, we'll be hungry. Oh, we must expand our horizon, and that's the issue of competence coming in. Let's widen the scope and go.
Thank you. Please, you have just a minute, please.
To start with, I think it's good having a young person talk to people here, because it's good to learn. Because it's one thing that we have those that are going ahead of us, then those that are also in our case talk to us. But the first thing I want to talk about is, now, he has said so much actually. Looking at our syllabus in school and everything, even outside when you're done with school, it's all encompassing. You're everywhere. I'll take maths, but case now, we've gone through all the technical aspects, but the game changes when you have to work with a business person, because all they care about is the bottom line. Now, my idea is this: you're very technical. It's cool. It's fine. But when what you're going to say is going to add to the bottom line of the company, so the technical terms there won't actually work. Now, my question is this: what is YQSF doing to ensure that now, even those that are actually good technically, you're very fine, you're very good surveyor, you're very good, but how are you going to marry your technical aspect with the business aspect? Because talking procurement, I'm not talking local market, I'm talking foreign markets too. I'm thinking foreign exchange, conversion, import and everything. Now, how is every other person thinking in this terms? Because the rate was 5 naira. How are you sure your 5 naira will count in the next 3 days when Forex is affecting everything you price before yesterday? Thank you.
Okay. He addressed that to YQSF, and you got the mic.
Thank you. Mr. President, past President, and members of the Council, everybody present here today, good afternoon. My name is Bola Diera, the chairman of the Young Surveyors Forum, and Mr. Ifeanyi did a wonderful presentation representing. Much, Mr. Ifeanyi. Back to your questions, I wouldn't want to take much of our time, but just permit me to say a few things. During the tea break, we are going to do a few presentations, and this is our vision. The reason why we have IQSF is basically to strengthen NIQS at various chapters. And lo and behold, today we have a very fun. We are hoping that before the end of 2019, we'll cut across everywhere in the country. This is what we do. One, we engage our people, corporate members below the ages of 35, probational members and students. We try to mix them up in so as to encourage integration. And these are the programs that we do our interactive session on a topic of interest on WhatsApp group, so as to ensure that location is not a barrier. And thank God we have our media team here being anchored by YQSF. Virtually the event, we've had like 2 or 3 workshops. We've created a YouTube channel where we store all watch, relearn again to build up your capacity. Very important. So also, what we also do, we do classroom interactive sections where channels in the industry, head of companies. By November, we already have a discussion with the head of QS department at ITB. We are actually going to have a meeting with the CEO, and we actually plan going to a co-Atlantic city to go and learn how this project was conceived, the technical aspect of it, all this relationship we build for one reason: one, to learn to build up our capacity, and also to create opportunity for quantities of bigger. And after the side visit to the Lagos-Ibadan Express, we were being called upon that, please, we need quantities of yours. Send us CVs. And we are very happy that after that, they actually engage some of our members. Also, part of our programs that we do, we also collaborate with the Institute on creation of jobs, job fair, that are looking for jobs, to sensitize them on how to write CVs. Very, very important, because we've come to discover that a lot of quantities of yours, like he has rightly said, they might be, when it comes to writing, it comes to negotiation, discussing with top management team, we still have a long way to go, but we'll do all our best to bridge the gap. We need your support. We need your support, because this is one thing that we believe, that the Institute belongs to every one of us. We need to get ourselves actively involved at the chapter, national. Anytime we are being called upon for a workshop, we thank God that this entire hall is being filled up today. Right. We'll all please participate in the process. And something is very critical. Sorry, permit me to say this. I'm rounding it up. There is a traditional belief that once you get qualified, you don't pay your due. Very important. This evening, we have a new set of people that has gone through, some of them has gone through, it was all trained.